We brought you the good news of the reduction of water restrictions in the Western Cape. But in Limpopo, a community is battling every day. They say they're forced to share water with animals and live in dilapidated houses. The people of Sarani say they're being neglected by government because they live at the far end of the province, as ENCA's Zikona Chona reports.
This is Sanari in Ha-Makuya, an area at the tail end of the Limpopo province. There is not much development or service delivery here. Residents say government only seems to pay attention to them during election campaigns. Every day is an uphill battle, using long drop toilets and living in homes that are about to fall apart.
Ndiko vona uri zvino hapanoni kha vhupo hovhunoni ha Makuya hapanoni kha kusi kwa Sanari muvhuso u tonga u khou tsinya iṱo ahuna tshithu tshine nṋe nda khou vhona uri muvhuso u khou ri itela tshone ndi nga si ambe uri muvhuso u khou ri itela mini ngauri na musi arali u mundende ndi khou tea u bva fhano nda ṱuwa nda ya Tshilamba ndi tshi ya Tshilamba ndi tea u vha ndi khou tou thoma nda u koloda tshelede yo uri nṋe ndi ṋamele ndi tea u buba nda ṱuwa nda ya seli hangei hu no pfi ha Mutele nga 5 o'clock ndi tea u vha ndi khou ṋamela basi ya Mulaudzi nda ṋamela ndi tshi khou ya Tshilamba ndi tshi swika Tshilamba vha mbudza zwa uri a huna network ende vha tshi mbudza uri a huna network ndi khou tea u dovha nda vhuya ndi khou ṱuwa ngei Tshilamba nda vhuya ndi na nḓala ende vha khou zwi vhona ndi khou vhuya ndi na nḓala hangeno yeni ndo siya vhana futhi vha na nḓala ende zwi vha zwi sokou mpfara zwavhuḓi hezwo zwithu.
Usiyiwa Mathebula has been selling food under this tree for about 5 years. She needs the money to support her children's social grants.
Para zwino ndina thaidzo yanga khulwane ndi uri a huna mushumo ndo vha ndi khou lingedza uri ndi ḓisikele mushumo nga zwezwi zwiṱukuṱuku hanefha.
The lack of basic services makes running this business a safety risk.
Ende a u tshi ava save zwa zwino shango zwa zwino ḽo no ṱanganana ngori uri ndi wane haḽa maḓi a vhuḓi ndi tea u vuwa nga 4 ndi nga ḓi ndi tshi vuwa nga 4 nda ṱangana na vhathu vhapo nḓilani ngori vha zwa zwo ri nṋe ri tou bubela maḓi a nyita zwiṅwe na zwiṅwe kana u ntshipa a tshi fhedzisela a khou ntshipa ndi khou wana vhulwadze ndi tshe kiḽiniki nda wana hu si na mushonga ende u wana vhulwadze ndi songo ḓiimisela zwi vha zwi si zwavhuḓi.
The river she speaks of is also used by the community for their daily baths and laundry. The suffering does not end there. The local clinic also has limited running water, which it gets from these Jojo tanks. It's a high-risk malaria area, but because of the water system, mosquitoes run free.
Vhuleme vhune ra ṱangana naho fhano kiḽiniki ndi ya uri a huna kiḽinara ri tshi bebisa malagane a sokou dzula na zwino na yani ḓo a wana mabaketeni ende hu vha hu khou nuka zwa zwino maḓi ha tsha swika hangeini hune laundry ya vha hone lune na musi muimana o beba u balelwa maḓi o ṱamba.
This 60-year-old woman has given up on a government home. It's been 10 years of waiting. 5 years ago, government built this foundation in her yard, but they've not been back. She is now collecting bricks with money from her pension to put up her own house. The Limpopo provincial government says it recently ran tests in the area and the water is not safe to drink.
The most thing that people need to understand with water is that you deal with the source. If the source is not right, there will be very limited things that you can resolve overnight.
Government says it's working on a water solution for the area, but for the people here, it's been years and all hope is gone. Zikona Chona, Sanari in Limpopo.
This is ENCA now, and coming up we'll have more on the ongoing state capture inquiry, full details on the improving water situation in Cape Town, and full and comprehensive coverage on the aftermath of the big Johannesburg fire. Just on 3 o'clock, and this is ENCA Now.
From bureaus across the country and around the world, this is ENCA Now.
Former President Jacob Zuma's son, Duduzane Zuma, says he will now testify at the state capture inquiry, while details emerge of just how much Gupta-owned companies received from government. And this afternoon, there is still no clarity over whether the ANC knew about a meeting to discuss an apparent plot to oust President Ramaphosa. But we start with this. The former president's son, Duduzane Zuma, has made an about-turn. He now says he is ready to testify before the ongoing state capture inquiry. He'd initially stated that he would not give evidence as he's facing criminal charges on a similar matter. In a letter read to the commission earlier, Zuma's attorney says he is now prepared to testify.
The letter records that on your request, Chair, Council was asked whether or not Mr. Duduzane Zuma would reconsider his position, and it was undertaken by Council that instructions would be obtained.
Yes.
That has resulted in this communication received this weekend.
Yes.
Paragraph 4 reads, since Thursday and after affording our client an opportunity to consider the arguments of 6 September 2018, we have now received instructions from Mr. Duduzane Zuma to inform the Commissioner that he is prepared and tenders, it should read, to give evidence as a witness before the Commission with reference to the subject matter raised by Mr. Jonas in his evidence.
Yes.
And we are then asked to place this before you as Commissioner.
Yes. No, thank you, Mr. Pretorius. I think that it is good for the process of the Commission that Mr. Duduzane Zuma has made the decision that he will be prepared to give evidence and does tender to give evidence in this commission. And of course that immediately places him in the same position as some of the applicants for leave to cross-examine, if I recall correctly.
Yes, it would, Chair, and it would require then the rules to be followed in relation to this undertaking.
Yes. So when I finalize my consideration of his application, I will take into account the latest development.
All right, let's stay with the issue of witness appearance. The Deputy Chief Justice, Raymond Zondo, now wants an affidavit from Rajesh and Ajay Gupta, their lawyer confirming to the Commission last week that they're not prepared to return to South Africa to participate in that hearing. But they say they're willing to testify via video link.
Mr. Helens for Mr. Rajesh Gupta and Mr. Ajay Gupta said in reply that if necessary, an affidavit or affidavits saying exactly what was in the written submissions could be obtained. I would like him to make arrangements to have those statements put on affidavit. Obviously, they are not here. May I ask that that be conveyed to him?
Yes.
I'm sure that it could be done within a matter of days. It's just to ensure that the position that Mr. Ajay Gupta and Mr. Rajesh Gupta have taken, which was set out in the written submissions in regard to not being prepared to come to South Africa, that is contained, put in an affidavit.
Also today, the inquiry hearing how government spending on the Gupta-owned TNA increased shortly after the removal